Good afternoon, my name is Nandita and today I'm going to be presenting about business decision making. Agenda: business decision for Shiro and choosing between guided city tours using e-rickshaws or self-guided city tours using e-bikes. Introduction: Shiro has a difficult business decision, choosing between two different pathways. On the one hand, he proposes giving guided city tours via e-rickshaws, while on the other hand, he considers opening a bike rental shop in the center of the city. Comparative financial analysis, assessing the profitability edge of option 1 versus option 2. After a thorough study of financial predictions and ratio studies for both alternatives, it is clear that option 1 generates more income and profits than option 2. This superiority can be attributable to a variety of variables, including lower per unit variable costs, higher per unit selling prices, and an increased contribution margin. Furthermore, option 1 has a lower break-even point than option 2, indicating that it will attain profitability at a lower sales volume barrier than option 2. Unblocking profitability: how option 1's reduced break-even point enhances financial performance. Option 1 has a lower break-even point than option 2, showing that we may achieve profitability with smaller sales quantities. This results come from option 1's higher selling price per unit and lower variable cost per unit, resulting in a higher contribution margin per unit. As a result, our ability to generate profitability despite decreasing sales volumes strengthens our financial position. Analyzing internal factors: assessing the viability of option 1 guided city tours with e-rickshaws. Company capabilities: the sufficiency of the company's resources, including its financial reserves, labor, and equipment, may have a considerable influence on the practicality of this choice. For example, the availability of cash to purchase e-rickshaws and the capacity to hire skilled drivers to run them. Specialized knowledge: the success of this method may be determined by the company's level of competence in ecotourism. The effectiveness of this alternative might be greatly impacted by the company's ecotourism knowledge and the availability of related sources. Market assessment: conducting a thorough market study will help determine the target population and their preferences. This analytical technique is beneficial in measuring the demand for eco-friendly tours and adjusting the company's products to match the unique demands of its target audience. Evaluating external influences: assessing the impact on option 1 guided city tours with e-rickshaws. Government legislation governing the commercial use of e-rickshaws may have an impact on the company's operational feasibility and financial prospects. Competitive landscape: the presence of competitors' organizations, whether traditional or eco-conscious city tour operators providing similar services, may reduce demand for Shiro's offers. Market dynamics: as passengers' taste for sustainable travel practices evolve and the tourism sector continues to develop, the firm may face both favorable prospects and sustainable obstacles. Identifying risks: potential challenges for option 1 guided city tours with e-rickshaws. Infrastructure constraints: the paucity of e-rickshaws charging facilities presents a significant barrier. Operational problems may occur if the car's battery running low during excursions or if they need to be recharged often. Competitive landscape: as the use of e-rickshaws in the tourist industry grows, the market may become increasingly saturated with competitor tour providers. Shiro's firm may face more competition, resulting in diminished profitability. Exploring advantages: potential gains for option 1, which is guided city tours with e-rickshaws. Eco-conscious appeal: e-rickshaws being ecologically beneficial alternatives to typical gas-line vehicles appeal to clients who want to reduce their carbon footprint. The sustainability feature may attract a group of environmentally conscious customers to the excursions. Cost efficiency: using e-rickshaws can be financially beneficial for tour companies since they often have lower operating and maintenance expenses than traditional vehicles. This cost effectiveness improves the company's profitability. Customers benefit from guided city excursions in e-rickshaws, which provide a unique and interesting experience. This distinctive selling characteristic distinguishes the firm from competitors and increases its attraction to potential customers. Human capital considerations in option 1 for guided city tours with e-rickshaws. Shiro must find professional tour operators who can drive e-rickshaws and are well versed in the city's history and culture. Investing in specific training programs may be required to ensure that tour guides provide great experiences for consumers. Physical resource management in option 1. Acquiring a fleet of e-rickshaws is critical for Shiro's commercial debut. While the initial expenditure may be significant, it can result in long-term fuel savings over standard tour cars. Shiro must invest in appropriate charging infrastructure because e-rickshaws must be recharged often. This may include installing charging stations at their tour office or working with existing charging networks. Maintenance and repairs. E-rickshaws, like any other vehicle, require regular maintenance and repairs to guarantee maximum operation. Shiro must develop a maintenance strategy which includes scheduling routine maintenance and responding quickly to any repairs that need emerge. Financial resource implications for option 1. The initial expenses necessary for acquiring or renting e-rickshaws may represent a large upfront expense for the company, demanding careful consideration in the business's financial strategy. Regular maintenance and repair charges are required to keep e-rickshaws in good working order. Allocating a budget for these charges is critical in the business's financial strategy. Factors shaping option 2, which is self-guided city tours with e-bikes. The internal influences. The first internal factor, availability of e-bike inventory and accessories, creation of self-guided tour packages and routes. Second internal factor, training and educating of employees for e-bike maintenance. And the third internal factor, promotion and marketing of self-guided tour packages, recruitment and employment of staff for self-guided tour assistants. The external influences on option 2 are market demand for environmentally sustainable tourism options and accessibility and availability of e-bike rental services in the region. Potential hazards associated with option 2. Safety considerations for riders unfamiliar with e-bikes or the urban landscape, potential for e-bike theft or damage, and an increased upfront investment required for acquiring and upkeeping e-bikes in contrast to conventional bicycles. The advantages of option 2. Enhanced freedom for tourists to discover that the city at their preferred speed, possibility of boosted income from rental charges and merchandise purchases, and also advancement of eco-conscious initiatives by advocating for sustainable transportation choices. Implications on human resources in option 2. Staffing requirements. Transitioning to self-guided tours may decrease the need for tour guides, but could necessitate additional staff for maintenance and customer support. Employee training. Personnel will require training to deliver customer service and support for self-guided tours, including technical assistance for the e-bikes. Safety training. Employees may require training to address safety concerns related to e-bikes and ensure that the customers adhere to safety regulations. Implications for physical assets in option 2. Procurement of e-bikes. The company will need to invest in purchasing a fleet of e-bikes for rental purposes, which could require a significant initial capital outlay. Maintenance and servicing. Regular upkeep and repair of the e-bikes will be necessary, potentially contributing to ongoing operational costs. Storage and charging infrastructure. Adequate facilities for securely storing and charging the e-bikes between uses may require additional investment in infrastructure and space. Financial considerations for option 2. Initial capital outlay. Acquiring the necessary e-bikes, bike stations, and accompanying equipment to establish a self-guided tour service using e-bikes will require a significant upfront investment. This entails a substantial financial commitment at the outset. Ongoing maintenance expenses. Regular repairs, battery replacements, and equipment upgrades will be essential to ensure the optimal performance of the e-bikes and bike stations. As a result, the operational costs of the company will escalate over time. Advertising expenses. A marketing campaign will be necessary to promote the self-guided tour service and attract potential customers. This will incur additional costs in the terms of advertising and promotional expenses. Upon thorough examination of both internal and external factors influencing each option, along with their associated risks and benefits, I have conducted a comprehensive comparison between the two alternatives. Based on the analysis, we have formulated a recommendation for Shiro. Option 1 allows Shiro to provide unique guided city tours employing e-rickshaws, perhaps resulting to higher income. Nonetheless, this method carries dangers, such as guaranteeing safety and regulatory compliance, which may be mitigated with extensive training and adherence to local standards. Option 2 involves delivering self-guided city tours on e-bikes, which gives clients more freedom. However, this solution entails possible dangers such as equipment failure and liability difficulties. Additionally, issues with charging and storage facilities may also arise. Recommendations. The financial evaluation shows that option 1, which focuses on guided city tours with e-rickshaws, is more profitable than option 2, which focuses on self-guided city tours with e-bikes. Furthermore, option 1 has cheaper rental expenditures than option 2's downtown storefront lease. Option 1 surpasses option 2 in terms of gross profit margin, net profit margin, and return on investment, owing to a better cost structure and increased revenue production. Option 1's guided city tours with e-rickshaws cost more per vehicle but have fewer variable expenses, each trip resulting in greater revenue and gross profit statistics. Option 1 has a competitive edge due to cheaper rental expenses compared to option 2, which leases a city center shop. Furthermore, option 1 has well-established consumer base with clients pre-booking their excursions online, assuring a consistent stream of cash. Option 2 relies primarily on client renting e-bikes, resulting in less dependable revenue source than option 1. Option 1 provides a higher return on investment due to a lower initial investment required and lower recurring maintenance and operating expenditures, which improves the total profitability. Option 1 also stands out for its simplicity of implementation, reduced risk profile, and higher flexibility when compared to option 2. Option 2 relies primarily on clients renting e-bikes, resulting in a more unstable revenue source. Meanwhile, option 1 has a higher return on investment to its lower original expenditure and lower continuing maintenance and operational costs, which boosts its profitability. Moreover, option 1 appears to be simpler, less dangerous, and more flexible alternative than option 2. Conclusion. Following thorough analysis, I recommend Shiro chooses option 1, which includes guided city tour excursions and e-rickshaws, with sufficient safety precautions in place. This option provides a unique client experience and has the potential to increase income for the firm. While the initial cost of owning or leasing an e-rickshaw may appear intimidating, careful financial preparation may help you handle these expenses successfully. To maximize the benefits and secure the business's long-term success, I have highly advised Shiro to execute option 1. Thank you.
Nandita, I just want to ask you, what are the external influences on option 2, which is providing self-guided city tours using e-bikes?
The first one is market demand for environmentally sustainable tourism options, and the second one is accessibility and availability of e-bike rental services in the region.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the second question. What are the potential hazards associated with option 2?
The first hazard is safety considerations for riders unfamiliar with the e-bikes or the urban landscape. The second is potential for e-bike theft or damage. And the third is increased upfront investment required for acquiring and upkeeping e-bikes in contrast to conventional bicycles.